Hey, this is Random Doll Account back at it again with another video. And as you can see, I have a, let's be honest here, a little bit of a mountain of doll stuff currently on my display counter. So what I was going to do is bring you guys in, unbox all of my goodies from the Poppy Parker Sweet 16 event. And I was thinking, kind of give you guys some of my thoughts about some of the stuff that has been going around on the internet, because even though my experience was generally vibey and chill and unproblematic, not everyone else's was. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about what's on the side over here. So at the event, I did in fact buy the Streamers fashion pack. I have it currently displayed on my Young Romantic Poppy because Young Romantic Poppy is so me. It's really because I don't have her outfit. So I basically put this doll into any outfit that I think is cute. And I thought that this outfit was cute. So this stand, I'm going to take her off her stand. I'm going to show you guys this fashion trunk. So this fashion trunk is really awesome. I like this travel trunk. So basically on the front of it, you have Poppy Parker in silver, right? It is a white fabric all around. It kind of feels like a tweed of some form, okay? And then it is silver. All of the hardware is silver. And then it has one hook and loop. And then you open it up and it's this cute little pink thing. It has a strap. It has 3 hangers. It has one pull-out drawer for accessories, and then it has another kind of twist-out drawer. This was limited to, I believe, 400. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this, I was like, oh, well, if it's a travel trunk, then I'm going to definitely use it. And so I use it to bring home some stuff. So that's why the Streamers fashion pack that is not in box, because I was just like, girl, I'm not paying extra for luggage. Because I have these 3 huge dolls that I had to get home, right? For the record, my Streamers fashion pack, I don't know why, this shoe just does not stay on for the life of it. It just is what it is, but it does come with an extra pair of shoes for flat feet. So as you can see, the Poppy fits pretty much perfectly, but I have seen some people questioning whether or not this trunk would fit a New Face or an FR doll. So for the sake of journalistic integrity, I'm gonna go ahead and try it out for you guys so that everybody knows if this trunk will fit this. So let's go ahead and try it out. Okay, it doesn't fit just straight up, but there we go. So it can fit it. You know, you have to do a little bit of finagling, a little bit of, cheesing, but it does technically fit inside the trunk. Let's go ahead and close. Yep. So I just fit Mirage Giselle Dufendorf in here, no problem. Of course, I did have to kind of put her to the side a little bit, but if you're traveling with a doll, I would wager that you're just really happy that it is enclosed in something. So I am happy that they came out with Poppy Parker's own travel trunk. I will tell you that I wish, and this is just my own personal wants, have you guys ever seen those Blythe doll travel bags? Here, I'll put a picture of some examples right here. So basically, Blythe dolls, they have travel bags where it's a clear front and you can see the doll inside, and then they have a messenger style so that you can just see the doll inside of a clear case. I would love for Integrity Toys to do an equivalent for that. But I do think that this travel trunk is very nice, and I will be using it in the future in order to bring dolls. I'm guessing I'm going to use it to bring dolls back, but it was very efficient and it was easy to use whenever I was traveling. So I don't think that it will be that big of a deal, and I really like it. It's super cute. So one last look at the travel trunk, and for the record, yes, it does have these little stands right there so you can kind of stand it up. All right, so let's go ahead and talk dolls. So right here in these boxes, we have the Poppies from this event. All 3 of them. I kept all 3 of them, even though I will admit I am one of those people who I don't always keep everything, but I don't know. I feel somewhat sentimental about these dolls, and I really do love the whole collection. So let's go ahead and first talk about the box. So it is very classically Poppy Parker. You have these beautiful little pastel flowers all around the box, and then the very front is like gift wrap. And then once you look at the inside, so here we have birthday bouquet inside of her box, but you can see a picture right here of the event logo, which is Reluctant Debutante Poppy Parker. Yes. And then you get the doll in this beautiful pink kind of encasement, enrobement. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the other two dolls, and then we'll get to unboxing. Okay, so here are all three dolls from this event inside of their box. So we have right here, right, we have Bouquet, and then we have Sprinkles, and then we have Cupcake, which Cupcake was the one that we got as our gift with purchase doll. Okay, so let's go ahead and start unboxing. And while I am unboxing these dolls, let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that happened at this event. So the first doll that we were introduced to was Bouquet. So this is going to be the first one that I'm going to unbox. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was at the very end of my vlog, I was, I was basically sitting down, just like having my empanadas, like drinking my wine, having a good time, and watching people basically rush the sales room situation. And I've heard some things about the sales room that I just wanted to go ahead and talk about while we were here. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about the certificate of authenticity for this doll. So Birthday Bouquet mine is 370 of 750. So this doll does have an edition size of 750. We're going to talk about that in a second. 300 people were allowed to attend this event. And yeah, I was one of the 300. And by the way, before we get into all the drama, I just want to go ahead and say I met a lot of my subscribers at this event, and I loved talking to you guys. I'm now like convinced, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to advertise this channel now, because I met my subscribers and they're so cool. And I'm like, oh my God, my subscribers are so cool. And they were like found, like the algorithm like found them and then put them together with me. And like, oh my God, I don't want to like, this is gonna sound so bad, but I'm like, oh my God, like what if like the algorithm like put like the right people, and like if I advertise, then like all the amazing people that find me are not gonna find me. I get like these amazing people. It was so amazing to talk to a lot of my subscribers that were there. So shout out to all of you. Some of you guys came up and you said the nicest, most encouraging things to me, and stuff that I will never, ever, ever forget. And I thank you so much for doing that. And it really it made me feel like what I was doing here, wasn't just AI. Like I thought I was like, I don't know why. I feel like me sitting here yapping and unboxing stuff, it doesn't feel real. And then whenever I was at that event and people were coming up to me and they knew my account and like they knew my personality and who I was as a person, I was like, oh my God, like you guys actually watch. So thank you so much for watching. Real talk, like I do not take it for granted, and I really appreciate you guys for doing that. Like I was amazed, and I almost cried with some of the things that people were telling me, and you guys are truly amazing, and I'm just so grateful. So Birthday Bouquet, come on, get out of that box, girl. Okay, so let's go ahead and first things first talk about these edition sizes. Because there was some drama surrounding that. So whenever we got these dolls, I will admit I did look at the edition sizes because I was kind of curious. And with Cupcake, I saw that her edition size was 750, and I was like, oh, interesting. And then word around the street was, oh yeah, well, we get to buy it extra. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't really think too much about it. And then whenever I was in group 2, so whenever I got out and I was like looking around, and kind of talking to people, nobody had really like unboxed the dolls yet. So I didn't see any of the dolls in real life. I didn't see edition sizes. I didn't see anything like that. And then, you know, all of a sudden, basically, like I get out, I buy my dolls, I start looking at them in the box. I can't take them out of the box yet because I'm obviously deboxing them for you guys. But, you know, I start looking at them. I start like oohing and awing at them as you do. And I went and I was just curious about edition size. I saw that it was $7.50 each. And I was like, oh, interesting, because there's only 300 people at this event, right? And so I was like, okay, well, they're not offering us 2 of every single doll. They're only offering us 2 of Cupcake. So logically, right, that must mean that some dolls are being offered to the club. Yes. And so I thought that that was so interesting. And right now there seems to be kind of this, like, I noticed like a theme of disappointment that these dolls weren't more limited. It was going to be a club opportunity for them. So I just wanted to go ahead and address it now. Personally, like my kind of opinion on it, I've been humming and hawing about this because I kind of get both points of view in that, like, a lot of people that went to this event, right, they spent good money, they took time off, took hotel. I took time off, right? They, you know, they bought these hotels and they were expecting to get these like really amazing limited, super duper limited dolls, right? And these dolls are amazing, for the record. And you know, I do acknowledge the fact that for some people, like, the limitedness of these dolls does kind of offer a appeal, right? And so, you know, I can understand that, like, we were marketed like, oh, you get right to buy 1 of these like ultra limited. And then hearing that they have an edition size of 750, which is larger than the average convention size, I could see how that would be disappointing for some, right? Personally, okay, here's my feelings about it. I don't mind the idea of some of these dolls being offered to the club. I really don't. Poppy lotteries where a doll is limited to like 400. I mean, that's gonna be crazy, right? Like, that's gonna be an absolute murder fest. I'm like, no one should be looking forward to it. It's not a good vibe. It's gonna be crazy. So I acknowledge that. However, I do kind of wish that we were told in advance, like, hey, you guys are gonna have the right to buy these dolls, and then we're going to have the other half for lottery. I just like whenever companies are very clear with me about what the expectations should be. And I will admit, like, the expectations on this one weren't as clear as I would have liked. With that being said, though, like, I personally do not mind the idea of some of these dolls going out to like the rest of the club. It's just one of those things where I'm like, okay, just like be honest about it though, because like I can see a lot of people being like, oh, well, I have 1 million memberships. Never mind, I'm staying home. You know, because there's just people who have a lot of memberships. Not to say that they're resellers or scalpers or anything like that, but just there's some people that have like 7 or 8 memberships, and it's just because they're a huge fan, you know? So I can see how some people would feel burnt out by that. I don't, right? But like, I can get it. You know, Jonathan, my good friend that you saw in one of my previous videos, he lives in London. And, you know, I can understand, you know, his feeling, you know, not to say that he feels this way or anything like that, but I can understand the feeling of being like, oh my God, I traveled all the way from Europe to the United States to get these ultra limited dolls. And you're telling me that I could have stayed and just like, you know, asked and begged everyone and their mother for you know, some lottery tickets, and like I could have stayed home. What the heck? You know, I can kind of get that. So, you know, it's definitely one of those things. Okay, let me put this doll in full. I gotta go get a pair of scissors. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this beautiful little cutie baby birthday bouquet, Poppy Parker. So, as you can see, she is just delightful Easter treat goodness. I love, like, number one thing I love about her is that she comes with these like little tiny florets, right? And they're beads, and it's so cute. And they come on her shoes, and then they also come on her dress. And then the buttons on her coat also come with it. And then you get this adorable little purse, and it is kind of like this faux leather. And her face, which, let's go ahead and talk about this face real quick. So I ended up not purchasing Sweet 16 Poppy Parker, and the reason why was because once I saw her with this beautiful face, I was like, okay, real talk. I already have a lot of Coney Island Saturday. I have Spaced Out coming in. I was like, you know what? I probably should not be putting a million Coney Island Saturdays into my collection. So I made the executive decision to go with the one I like the most, and I like this girl the most. So there we go. So she comes with this cutesy bootsy little silver bangle, and then she comes also with these little earrings and then this little yellow bow on top. This is a perfect Easter doll in my opinion. This is very Easter themed, and I think that she is adorable. So let me go ahead and put her on the spinner, and I will go ahead and talk about sprinkles. Okay, so disclaimer about sprinkles. Basically, my video camera cut off for some reason, and so while I was halfway through unboxing her, I found out that the footage is not there. So let's go ahead and just have a quick discussion about sprinkles. I'm sorry, she's already like halfway unboxed. Whoops, I already got her stand out, and I've got her COA out, and I was in the halfway point of getting her out of her box. So let's go ahead and talk about this COA. So my sprinkles is number 171 of 750, and then in box, I'm sorry, whoops, my bad. Okay, there she is. Okay, so I will admit, this is the doll that on first impression I had the strongest feelings about, and the reason why is because I love Hold That Tiger Poppy Parker. I really do, but I don't want to pay Hold That Tiger prices. So whenever I saw her and I saw her screening and I saw her skin tone and I saw her vibe, I was like, oh good, she's giving Hold That Tiger without, Hold That Tiger money. And I was like, perfect, beautiful, I love that for me. So I ended up grabbing her. Obviously I was going to anyways, but I'm so happy that she was at this event. So let's go ahead, and while I am deboxing this girl, let's quickly talk about what I heard happened inside of that sales room at the event, because I have a lot of things to say, even though I will admit I was not inside that sales room. You can go and you can look at my vlog and you'll see, yeah, I wasn't in there. I kind of felt like the vibes were off within the first 30 seconds of that woman coming out and like kind of yelling on the opposite side, like, this is how many we had of each doll. I was like, I'm not going inside that sales room. So I grabbed some empanadas and I just vibed. But I am going based off of information that I've heard from multiple different members of the club of what happened in that room. I'm going to talk about what I did see. Saying that every single person inside of that line had to go to the other side of the hotel, and then proceeding to force them to go back to the other side of the hotel, the original side to begin with. It almost felt like a sick game of Simon Says. That was not cool. Yeah, not cool. Very disorganized. And, if I were a member of that line at that time, I would have been really annoyed. Additionally, I've heard rumors, and once again, these are just rumors. I don't really know. The truth, I wasn't really there. I was there, but I wasn't inside of that room. I wasn't inside of the line. But from what I understand, a lot of those people that were inside of the line, they didn't end up getting anything that they wanted, because basically what I've been told is that a lot of the people at the very front of the line were like basically handpicked to go in, and they pretty much took every doll inside of that room, save for a few. From what I understand, after those people left, there was an extra box of dolls, and there was throwing involved of the dolls, which ended up causing somebody to get hit with a cupcake Poppy Parker, and that was not okay. I heard that there were a bunch of people basically mad dashing to get these thrown dolls, kind of like, you're on The Price is Right or something like that. I don't condone that. I'm not down with that. That was not cool. Like, don't throw things at people, obviously. And yes, I understand why so many members of our community are upset because of that. With that being said, I don't know. I feel like and this is just me, like, I don't know, like, what do you guys think? But at what point, like, do you get out of the line, right? Like, I'm kind of just thinking about this because I decided to get out of the line once I saw that she was screaming on the other side. I was like, yeah, no, this is not going to work out. I just had a feeling, I had the vibe, and I just got out of there. I feel like a lot of this could have been avoided if there was some form of professionalism involved in how the extras were going to be divvied out. I feel like maybe if they did like $1 per person extra, you know, a lot of people would have felt a lot less put out by that situation. But I feel also like once we got to the situation where only about 10 people were getting all of the dolls, I don't know. I feel like that should have been a sign. And I hope that, you know, the wonderful family that runs this amazing business can, you know, hear this and, you know, it's not any like, you know, dog on them or anything like that, but it is to say, hey, can we try a new system? Can we maybe do like random drawing or, you know, some kind of like post-sale type of situation? I just feel like this went too far, and it got very violent, and I don't think that beautiful dolls, don't get me wrong, but over dolls, like, this shouldn't have happened. Dolls are supposed to bring us joy. Dolls are supposed to make us happy, and the fact that, you know, somebody got hit with a doll, so the fact that dolls were being thrown, the fact that, you know, a lot of members, I do not know the full details because I just kind of made the executive decision that like this stress was not worth it. But the fact that like a lot of people were talking about how they felt like the people who were at the front of the line were actually handpicked. I don't know if that's true or not, but like the reality of the matter is that that's how the people inside that line felt. And, you know, I feel like that needs to be acknowledged, right? That feels very unfair. It feels kind of, you know, I can understand how frustrating that feels. And yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, what a mess, you know? It was just such a messy situation. And, you know, I hope that the next time that we have an event or a convention or something, it can be resolved. And once again, this is not dogging on the wonderful people who get us these dolls, the wonderful people that throw this event. It's not, you know, any like shade to them. It's just part of the event could have been handled a little bit better, you know? And yeah, so, okay, let me get this doll finalized in the dress. You know, let's talk sprinkles. So, this doll, all right, let's talk about her. She has this very, very thin, like non-bulky at all tweed suit. And look at this face. Oh my God, I love this face. Oh, gorgeous. Can you just see? Oh, she's so pretty. She comes with this beautiful tweed suit. Underneath is a pink, very, very thin material bodysuit. And she has these little bangles. She also comes with a pair of white and pink sunglasses, a purse, and then these little boots. Oh, she's so, so cute. I feel like I had the strongest reaction to her initially for a reason, and it's because how are you gonna go wrong? Like, how are you gonna go wrong with this puppy? She's gorgeous. Look at the face with like this beautiful tweed suit with the little go-go boots. Oh my God, she's so cute. Now, like, that's the thing. Birthday Bouquet is more traditionally sweet poppy. This one is a little bit different. She has the mod face, which I love the mod face. She looks so good. And I just like, I cannot tell you how much I love this doll. She is so pretty. I know exactly where I'm going to put her in my collection. I've been kind of like collecting tweed poppies at this point. Like, this year has been year of me and tweed poppies. So let's go ahead and put her on the turnstile, and then we're going to talk about Cupcake. All right. And then, so this was our gift with purchase doll, Cupcake Poppy Parker. Now, I have a lot of things to say about this doll, but I will say initially I was very, very happy whenever I saw this doll because I was quite afraid that they were going to give us a friend, a chip or something like that. And the fact that we got 3 poppies, girl of the now, girl of the moment, it made me so happy. And then I basically predicted this doll down to a T. I knew that she was going to be pink. I knew that she was going to be cutesy, but I didn't think that she was going to be the doll that we were going to be offered as our gift with purchase. And I was very happy with this because I felt like, oh, okay, good. Like I'm getting a poppy, a real poppy. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I just opened up my limited edition number for this doll. I got 750 of 750. So I literally have the last number. That has, I don't think, ever happened to me before, which is quite interesting. So here she is again in box. She has these beautiful micro crystals, which I'm really excited to see inside of the camera. But while I'm unboxing her, let's just go ahead and like gab a little bit about, my thoughts about the event, my thoughts about the food, everything like that. Because even though you guys saw like my experience, I have some things to say. Okay, so I was in table 27, which was wonderful. I loved all the people there. It was great. It was a great experience. But I will say that being in table 27, they had me go in this food line and there was almost no food. Like I was, those empanadas were the best meal that I got at that event, like real talk. And I will admit I was like dodging in and out just to get a drink. It was kind of intense from like a food access standpoint. So, I would love to see not necessarily more food, but like just more like food and water stations. Next event, specifically, if we can just have more drink stations, that would be wonderful. Because that was really stressful. And I will say though that like the event itself was very beautifully decorated. They did a wonderful job with that. I felt like everything was a total vibe. It had the sweetest 16 energy, and I really, really appreciated that. Additionally, other than the end, I will say that the event went really smoothly. They had a photo booth that didn't work, but who cares? It's one of those things. It's life. Like photo booths working, what? That doesn't happen. So that was no big deal. But basically it went super duper smoothly from like a structural perspective, except for like, the lack of food for me. But I mean, that might have just been me, honestly. Like I might have just come in at the wrong place at the wrong time and then gotten no food. And just ended up with the scraps. But like for the roast part, it was pretty good. It was pretty decently run. It was just the ends that really kind of did them in. And I feel like if you were one of the people that was like, okay, I had a great time. You took your wine, your little drink ticket, you got your little wine, and then you just dipped after that. I mean, you probably had a wonderful experience, to be honest with you. So I think that like, anybody who's going to go to an event like this, maybe just like take it as a word to the wise. Like if you have a friend who wants like one of these dolls, it just might behoove you to to say, I'm not getting in that line. That sounds like a nightmare. And then just like move on with your life and get your drink tickets and vibe. Because I feel like I had a great experience, and it was because I knew when the situation was just not going to work out for me, and I got out as expediently as possible. Okay, so let me unbox the rest of this and then I'll get her out for you. And here is Cupcake out of box. So if you can see, she has these beautiful little micro crystals, which right now I have a ring light in the background. So you can see she really, really shines. This is, if you are looking for a really pretty pink blonde, traditionally gorgeous poppy, this is definitely a great one to grab. I will say mine, at least out of the box, her hair is kind of a mess. So I've got a little bit of a boil wash that's going to happen. But that's kind of the situation I'm dealing with. She is the least out of box ready for me of the bunch, just because of the back of her head. But if you look at the front, oh my god, she's so gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's just exactly the type of doll you think in your head whenever you think Poppy Parker, right? She is just adorable. And she also, like, let's just go ahead and talk about the little details on this dress. So of course she has like these little bows and they're so cute, but let's look at these shoes, because these shoes are so adorable. They have little crystals in the middle of the bows, adorable. And then this little purse, and then she comes with a little pearl earring, pearl necklace, and a pearl bracelet. Adorable, so cute. And while we're here, let's just go ahead and talk about the stand. So these dolls do come with a special event stand, and it is Poppy Parker Sweet 16 event, and then it has like a little bow on it. Very, very cute. And there you have it. I mean, there's not much to say. She's a pretty pink Poppy Parker. Now, with that being said, you know what? I do have a little something to say. So I am one of the people who did not put in pre-order purchase anything on the Aerialise Poppy, and I feel like the way I would have displayed that doll, I feel like this doll kind of does better for me. So we've had a lot of pretty pink dressed Poppy in recent years, and I think that this is the best one of the bunch. Honestly, I love this one. This one is such a good one. She's a classic. Look at that dress. Look at the way that they did these crystals. Oh, she's so beautiful. The little bows, gorgeous. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring all the dolls back, and then we'll talk about my faves. Okay, so now that they're all out of box and I've had the ability to get a really good look at them for a little bit, let's go ahead and talk about this collection. This collection is beautiful. Even Sweet 16 Poppy, right, which I would, honestly, I would consider to be the weakest of the bunch just because I love these three so much, is a good doll. And all of these three are great dolls for very different reasons. I think that they represent different facets of Poppy, and I think it just really depends on who you are, on which doll you'd like the most. So here's the deal. I am very, very partial to my Powder Puff Poppies, and this beautiful doll looks amazing out of box, and she reminds me, she kind of gives me reminiscent of that type of vibe, but I also love a mod era Poppy, and I feel like this one does more of that. So unfortunately, Cupcake is just like, it's not that she's not a beautiful pink frilly dress Poppy in the most traditional sense. It's that these two kind of represent the Poppies that like really made me fall in love with Poppy Parker, whereas this one kind of represents the more traditional style Poppy, which I do love and I do have a decent amount of, but out of the bunch, these two are really taking the cake for me, which, I mean, good for everyone. These two are going to be available via lottery and this one's not. So it kind of works out for the most of the club that, in my opinion, the two best dolls are also the ones that people are going to be fighting over, but at least they're going to be able to be received outside of the secondary market. So, you know, it's one of those things, but gorgeous collection. Honestly, like, dare I say, this is like my favorite collection of the year so far. I think it might be. This is beautiful. This is amazing. I have nothing bad to say about this. I love each doll individually. I love them together as a set. It's just such a good cohesive unit. I'm just like so happy with how these turned out, and I'm so happy that I could take you all on this journey with me to go and see them. So that is going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, etc., etc. Please let me know what you think. I went and I talked about some of the little drama, and I know I don't necessarily have the most popular opinions in the world, and that's okay. So I want to hear your thoughts. I'm really intrigued. You know, I am one of those people who is allowed to change their minds. It's just like, that's kind of where I stand at the current moment with it. So yes, please go ahead and do that. I do respond back. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and peace. Besos.